Hello, my name is Ciara Farrell. I'm the Library and Collections Manager here at the Kennel Club. That means I look after our library, our art collection and our photographic archive. We have a large art collection. It comprises about 500 pieces, and we've had a gallery here since 2003. The purpose of the gallery is to represent the dog in art and to represent the dog as a member of society. So as well as representing great artists, we also have famous dogs, dogs owned by famous people. We like to represent rare breeds. We like to represent breeds that are native to Britain and Ireland to make sure that people get to know what those breeds, which are often in very, very low numbers now, look like and appreciate their history. The idea to start the Kennel Club Gallery came from one of our former chairmen, John McDougall. He had the idea that we would have a gallery that anybody could come to and visit and enjoy the works in our collection. Most of the works are Victorian and 20th century and early 21st century, so it takes us through the period of the great Victorian animal painters right up to the present day, though some items are a little bit older than that. But the bulk of the collection is Victorian and 20th century. This is the era in which animal painting became fashionable and popular. We have paintings, we have prints on paper, we've got porcelain, we've got a wonderful collection of silverware. It takes in the history of the dog as an artistic subject, everything to do with famous dogs, what they looked like in the past, how they look now. So it's a great research resource, and it's also something that people really, really enjoy coming to see. The gallery is in our headquarters here in Clarges Street in London, and people are very welcome to come and visit by appointment. We do a couple of exhibitions a year that are specific to particular breeds or particular subjects, and we have our permanent collection as well. So anyone is welcome to contact us and come to see our collection. The current exhibition in the gallery is on the history of the toy spaniels. That's covering the breeds that we now call the Cavalier King Charles and the King Charles Spaniels and their antecedents. What's great about the exhibitions we mount here at the Kennel Club is that they usually include pieces that haven't been seen in public before. This is because we borrow most of the things that come into our temporary exhibitions, and they're lent to us by collectors and breed enthusiasts, and they're normally things that they keep in their own home that only their own friends and relatives and guests get to see. So it's a great privilege to have them here, and we're so grateful to everybody who lends us things and supports us in our exhibitions. The permanent collection has about 500 pieces in it, and they belong to the Kennel Club or to the Kennel Club Arts Foundation. Some of them do come to us by way of generous donation. We do purchase pieces as well. We particularly try to keep an eye on contemporary artists who are up and coming in the field of animal painting and make sure that they're represented in the collection. So they've come to us from all different places. So this painting is by William Frank Calderon. It's the only painting we have by him in the collection. He's an important Victorian canine artist, and he was the founder of the Society of Animal Painters, which was the main body for this new genre of animal painting which became so popular in the Victorian period. He was the tutor of Cecil Alden, who was one of the most interesting and exciting 20th century artists to paint dogs and to represent dogs in art. It's a borzoi. The dog is called Valch. It came from Russia, and it was owned by one of the great borzoi breeders, Kathleen, Duchess of Newcastle, and she donated it to us in the 1950s. She was a very, very prominent member of the ladies branch of the Kennel Club, as it was called then. She was their president, and she was very, very important in promoting women's involvement in dogs, not just as owners, but as breeders and as judges and important and prominent people in the dog world. So it is an outstanding piece of art. It's a beautiful dog. It's owned by an interesting person. It's by a fascinating artist. So this is the sort of thing we like to have in the collection. It really is something that would be of interest to visitors for all different sorts of reasons, to do with their interest in art, the breed, Victoriana, and the social history of dogs in Britain. This is one of the most famous and iconic pieces in the collection. It's called the Keddall Memorial Trophy, but most people will know it best as the Best in Show trophy from Crufts. So you see it on the TV every year when it's presented in the arena. It is named after a gentleman called Robert Keddall, who was the show manager at Crufts for many years, and it was created in his honour by Charles Cruft, who was the founder of the Crufts Dog Show. It comes out of this cabinet once a year to go to the NEC in Birmingham to be presented to the Best in Show winner at Crufts. It's looked after very carefully while it's there. It's never left alone. And once it's been in the arena and the winner has accepted it, he doesn't get to take it home. It comes straight back here because it is so iconic and valuable to us that we look after it very well. We like to have a photograph of the current holder of the cup beside it. So the current holder is American champion Afterglow Maverick Sabre, who is a standard poodle, and he is the Best in Show winner for 2014. So this is an interesting piece. This is part of a series called The Champion Dogs of England by a very, very prominent Victorian artist called George Earl. He had a niece who was even more famous than him. Her name was Maud Earl, and she was one of the great dog painters of the 20th century. This is a great piece. You'll see that there are 5 images here, and we have a 6th one down here. And these are all named dogs. So these are all really, really important and famous dogs from the Victorian period. And there was a book that accompanied these that we have in our library called The Champion Dogs of England, which shows these paintings in the form of engravings, black and white images. And that's an educational item that people would have had. It's a beautiful, beautiful book, but it's something people would have had in their homes as a conversation piece. But it also illustrated lots of different breeds of dogs. So it's a way of telling people what different breeds look like. And these are all named quite famous dogs. This one here is called Huddersfield Ben, and he's here recorded as a broken-coated terrier. We would call now the Yorkshire Terrier. Huddersfield Ben is the dog that's behind the lines of most of the modern Yorkshire Terriers. So that's another interesting thing about this. We can see that breed names change over time. Sometimes they're not called by the names we know them by today. So when we're doing research for people, this is the sort of thing we need to know so that we can do research for them properly. So all of these dogs are very, very famous and well known. So we've got Molly, who's an Italian Greyhound. This is Tiger, who's a fairly ferocious looking Pomeranian. Doesn't look too much like a modern Pomeranian. Breed types change over time. So we can see what they looked like maybe 100 or 150 years ago. So when we are encouraging breeding of healthy dogs that are fit for function, we can look at what they looked like in the past and see if that is a better appearance for them and something we should be aiming for. We don't have typical visitors. All different sorts of people come to see us here. It really depends what we have on. Obviously, when we do breed-specific exhibitions like the one we have at the moment, we're going to see a lot of people who own that breed or are enthusiastic about that breed. And they do come to us from all over the world. When we host these exhibitions, we get breeders and owners of that breed coming to us. Normally, the breed clubs organise events where they come and see it. If we're focusing on a particular period, we've had, for example, in the past, exhibitions of Victorian photographs. We get people who are interested in the Victorian period, in social history, in portrait photography, in photographic technology, all different sorts of people. We have our website, which tell you what's on in the gallery. We also have a regular newsletter that we send out, which you can subscribe to via our website. We make sure that all the dog papers know about what we're doing, so you'll find them advertised in Our Dogs, Dog World, places like that. And we also send our press releases to the national newspapers who do arts coverage, and they will occasionally let people know what we have on. You can find out more about what's going on in the gallery at our website, which is www.thekennelclub.org.uk/art gallery.